Well, good morning. Welcome to Rooted and Relevant. And I'm enjoying some time with some very dear friends and in a very beautiful setting. And we thank the Lord. I believe that's Boyne Mountain behind me and one of the ski resorts here in Upper Michigan, and not in the UP, but in the Upper Lower Michigan. And I think we're going to do lunch today over in Mackinac, so that'll be a fun time. But I'm in the midst of Ecclesiastes chapter 8, and maybe one of the verses that I have used the most in parenting as well as in counseling. The absolute need that we have for accountability. None of us like it, but all of us need it. If you've heard me preach, I know you've probably heard me say and know that I refer to police officers sometimes as accountability, because when they're sitting there uh, with a radar gun and they're uh, looking at your speed, that's called accountability because they have the authority to make that cost you if you're not staying inside of the speed limit. The same thing is true for all law enforcement. They enforce the laws of the land, the rules of the land, and we call that accountability. Well, the same thing is true when you make rules and policy for a business, or rules and guidelines for your children. You, as the authority, become the accountability. If you don't have any enforcement of the rules, you might as well not even have them. And so Ecclesiastes 8:9 says, "All this have I seen and applied my heart unto every work that is under the sun. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his hurt." In other words, authority has the right to enforce a consequence if you break the rules, and it hurts. And consequences are designed to hurt. That's what gets us back in line. And so I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the place of the holy, and they were forgotten in the city where they had so done. This is also vanity. In other words, God simply says this: you know what? You don't have any idea how the future is going to come about. You don't know what lies ahead. You don't really have any control over all circumstances and situations. Things are difficult for people. But one thing that is sure, given enough time, we're all going to die. And so Solomon is looking at these people coming and going out of Jerusalem, and he is saying, they make a splash for a time, and then they're gone. And so he says in verse number 11, "Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil." That's the verse that I use all the time. Is if there is not a consequence right after the wrongdoing, then the heart of man says, "You know what? I think I can get away with that. I think I can keep doing that." And so what we need is accountability. What we need is a consequence. If there was a stiff and painful consequence after every act of disobedience, we would get back in line. But it would look a lot like the law, because that's what the law did. God says, I want you to be governed by a higher motivation. And that's not fear of pain, fear of consequences, but a motivation of love, a motivation of honor, a motivation of respect. I can almost tell you the day that my kids moved from being afraid of the consequence and motivated to obey mom and dad out of honor, respect, and love. And it is a wonderful transformation. Well, the same thing is true in our Christian lives. We live our whole life just afraid of God, afraid of pain, afraid of consequences. Well, that's a pretty immature relationship. But once we are motivated by the grace that he has given to us out of a heart of thankfulness and gratitude, and love for him. We want to honor him. We want to respect his rules. We want to respect his commands. We want to respect his program and his purposes. And so we are motivated to do it because we love him. And so, but we are all immature from time to time. And what gets us back in line are those consequences, is the pain of accountability. Verse 12, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it will be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. That word fear is respect. It's this combination of realizing there can be pain in consequence, but there's also the fulfillment and reward of love and honor and respect given to God. He says, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. In other words, even when you seem to get away with it, death is coming. This life is a shadow. You can buy the lie that this is all about you, and you can just try to please yourself, but you will come to the time when you realize this is all coming to an end. And then you ask yourself, what did I really love? What did I really honor? Was I entitled or grateful? You see, these are the things that Solomon is reminding us, is that, we need accountability. It reins us back in. But we shouldn't live life just afraid of consequences. We really should live life acknowledging and appreciating a God of grace who has provided so much for us by way of opportunity and stewardship to say, thank you. I love you. I am so privileged to be able to serve you. I'm not here for me. I've been bought with a price. Therefore, I am to glorify God in my body and in my spirit, which are God's. I hope you have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless.